England international Jesse Lingard says he has fallen out of love with his boyhood club Manchester United. In an interview on the Diary of a CEO podcast, Lingard, who spent 22 years at the club, having come through their academy, criticised United for lacking leadership since the departure of Sir Alex Ferguson in 2013. Lingard is not the first player in recent time to bash the Old Trafford club. Cristiano Ronaldo dragged the club through the mud, verbalizing his disgust for its falling standards during an interview with Piers Morgan last year. Lingard mentioned some of the issues at United which forced him to turn to the bottle.
I don't know what I was thinking, don't know what was going through my head at the time, but like I say, like I was drinking, stuff like that, like before bed, like having nightcap. I'm like, look back now, I think, like, what am I doing that for? Like, what I need is something to trying to take the pain away and like put me at ease somehow and like try and forget what was going on, but it makes 10 times worse.
The former United attacker echoed criticism from Ronaldo about the fact of United being stagnant under the Glazers.
Behind on like with everything. Like you see like City's facilities, you see Tottenham's facilities when we go there, like with England and like when we train at Tottenham. Like people are miles ahead. Even like the social side of things and that. I went to them like 2017 about like YouTube and let's do like content. Like they're so behind on everything. Like I just want them to just get up to date on like the new things that are happening, like the things that are popping.
Why does that matter?
Because you got to be relevant. You got to stay relevant.
But in terms of like the training ground, obviously Ronaldo in the Piers Morgan interview talks about the jacuzzi and the chefs and the food and the facilities and the weights, training equipment.
And he left years ago.
Yeah, he says he came back and it was all the same.
Yeah.
What impact does that have on you as a player?
You want the best things. You want, especially like United's one of the biggest clubs in the world, so you want the best for the best.
Yeah, so what do you make of this story?
Well, I listened to at least 45 minutes of the press conference today because, of course, a lot of news were coming in during midday today. And listening to Jesse Lingard, of course, there were multiple things happening, George, in his career at the same time. In his personal life and, of course, in his career. And what I get is that, there came a point where everything just affected him at once. He spoke in this interview about his mother suffering from depression, which is a personal thing going on at home. And he said it was happening when he was a little boy. He actually even said, and which I found was heartbreaking, that the moment he was born, he felt as if, his mom started to suffer with depression. He went into detail about her different relationships and, her trying to come out of the situation. But of course, it being very, very difficult for her. And, just to draw back to the point that all of these things affected him. I remember him talking about a big match, a derby that he had to play. And of course, his mom went into the hospital due to depression. And he has the derby, but he has to look after his little brother and sister. And of course, it affected him. Speaking about just the abuse that he would get on social media when people felt as if he just didn't belong in the team because he wasn't performing well. So, so many different things to unravel from the comments that he made. So for me, I'm just stuck in between, thinking about the personal aspect of it versus the playing aspect. Go ahead.
Boy, this always falls to me. I'm always the one who sounds like a cold, callous bastard.
Go ahead.
But let me ask you this. When Jesse Lingard says he has to take care of his siblings, what do you imagine taking care of his siblings to be?
Probably staying home with them, feeding them, ensuring that they got care. I mean, that's how I would take care of my siblings.
That's how you would take care. If you were at home in TNT with Krisha and everybody, that's how you would do because you're hands-on and everything. So, a multi-millionaire footballer has to take care of his siblings. So you imagine that he'd be using a toilet brush to clean the toilet, to be scrubbing the floors, to be washing the dishes, to be cooking the meals, to be going to the supermarket, to be budgeting to see how much he has for this, to be telling them not to run around the sharp objects. No, these guys have nannies there. Oh, in Britain they call them au pairs. So he has the choice of all pairs. He can afford to pay an all pair. He can afford to pay 10 all pairs for 365 days and still not miss the outlay on them. So when he says, oh, I have to take care of my siblings and that's stressing me out, really? I don't buy that. No, the depression side and the other things around him, look, I'll give the man space to deal with that. But these footballers find themselves in situations where the off-field issues are affecting their play on the field. And they just lump everything into one and expect everybody to keep a pity party and cut cake, eat cake, drink soda, and blow balloons and blow fifi and be sad in the party. It's not on. Jesse Lingard, ever since he had a very good run under Solskjaer, when Solskjaer just came. But when that form went, he hasn't been the same player since. And his contribution on the field when Manchester United used him in the Ralph Rangnick period for the few times he played, he was awful, but it was clear that something was wrong with him. Now, I don't condone the abuse of him on social media. You know I don't like that because I think social media people who abuse people, all of them are cowards. Leave the man alone. But I'm saying he makes it seem as if the club did something injurious to him when it was that his personal problems caused him to not be able to perform optimally. He says about social media and following. You know how many social media followers Manchester United has? I'll tell you. Manchester United has the third biggest social media following of any club in world football, behind Real Madrid, who are top with 276 million. This was as at December 5, 2022. So it's barely a month old. Real Madrid, 276 million followers on social media combined. Barcelona, 270 million. Manchester United, 179 million. The next best English club is Chelsea with 107 million. That is 72 million less than Manchester United. Tottenham not in the top 10. He speaks of facilities as if facilities equal trophies. How many trophies have Tottenham won since they modified their facilities?
George, I have to
but answer the question first.
I have to jump in here,
to say what?
Okay, so two players from your club come out to say similar things.
Yeah, to say what?
You remember when Cristiano Ronaldo came out and spoke about the facilities, just spoke about the quality of the club,
But they make it seem as if they're bathing out of a bath pan when they go in the dressing room, or if they're falling through the floor when they walk. No. So you're saying, well, the reason why we're not winning football games is because we don't have a state-of-the-art swimming pool. That's rubbish. Because when these teams were great, players were smoking cigarettes and drinking rum. They weren't performing optimally, but they were still putting in what was necessary to win competitions. The point I'm making without getting ridiculous is this. I don't want you to dodge the question. Tottenham Hotspur have undertaken a £1 billion sterling rebuild of their home facility at the Tottenham Stadium.
They just lost.
They have won 0 trophies. Since Arsenal moved into the Emirates, how many trophies have Arsenal won? They won an FA Cup?
I think they won an FA Cup.
There you go. Yeah? So I'm just saying, this ridiculous thing coming because it's in vogue now. Oh, the facilities are rubbish. Really? You are rubbish as a player. I'm sorry, I can't be sympathetic.
All right, is that it? We're out of time. Let's take a break and come right back. He has no sympathy for them.
Thank you for watching SportsMax on YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay informed.